How many times have we heard, oh, you're buying a new truck, you should put a driver in your old truck? Let me tell you why that's going to be a horrible idea. So today we're running around hitting pawn shops and junk stores and stuff like that. I'm trying to find a particular piece so I can mount my cameras up. I don't want to have to make this piece. I'd have to get drills and taps and stuff like that. So running all over town. Notice a lot of these videos I've done have been home, but it's just kind of the way it falls. So when it comes to hiring people, I've been asking around. I've had my inklings and all that. I've never directly hired people. I've been in management enough to know that I really don't like the human race all that well. At least not to be this intimately close to them. And these are some of the things that I've noticed when dealing with people. What I did notice was I pulled up next to this Mustang at a stoplight. His windows were cracked and I've got a contact high. Ooh. That ain't right. So, you decide you're going to expand your fleet. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants. You're going to buy 1, 2 trucks. You're going to put drivers in them. So, you know a couple of guys. You guys are friends. How could this go wrong? Well, it's going to go wrong. These are the best places to find stuff I'm looking for here. I need to find 2 things about maybe that big around. A little bigger than that, maybe about a little over 1.25 inches. All these pieces for these cameras are all made for West Coast mirrors, and they don't make anything for Kenworth, so I've got to figure something out. So you go buy a new truck. You still got your old truck. You know a guy. You guys have been friends for a long time. He'll drive that truck for you. Let me tell you my experience with this. When you go into business with friends that you've known for a long time, and you hire friends, you bring them in as employees, not as equals or peers, and they have no skin in the game, your friendship is probably not going to last. Now, granted, there are exceptions to the rule, but what's going to end up happening is going to be very tragic. You quickly learn that the first thing you have to do is be a boss. You have to manage this guy. You've got to tell your friend what to do. You're running your business. He seems to think all of a sudden that you guys are more like partners, despite the fact he hasn't bought a truck, put any money into it, or anything else. You've hired him. You're doing your friend a solid. So what happens there? Well, your friend decides that because you guys are such good friends, he can kind of just dictate whatever he wants to do. Yeah, that ends up causing stress and strife. So then next thing you know, you guys are at each other's throats. You're not making money, and you've got 2 truck payments, or at least 1 truck payment, and you've got to pay this guy. So basically 2 truck payments. And he's costing you money. And oh, by the way, when the truck breaks down, he wants a rental, or he wants it fixed immediately. And you've got to pay for the hotel room or whatever. So he as a friend is not doing you a solid. So that's just the beginning. So what happens if you get a deal on 3 or 4 trucks, a guy gives you a whole package deal, and you're like, I'm going to put these to work? And a friend of mine did that. And he learned really quick, sometimes it's better just to let the truck sit until you find the right driver for the truck, rather than just trying to cram any driver in the truck. He found drivers. He did his best. He found drivers as fast as he could. He put those trucks to work. And they almost destroyed him. I asked him a while later, and he said, having the trucks wasn't the problem. He said, I actually would have saved and made more money had I let those trucks sit until I found the right drivers for them, rather than panicking and just finding anybody to drive the truck. But here's the other thing that guys have a problem with, and that comes down to running your business. And it's not about running the physical business. Now, we'll talk about that in a minute. It's about your mindset. Too many guys sit there and approach this as a truck driver. You can't approach this business as a truck driver. You have to approach this business as an owner. You cannot be friends with these people. It was years before I realized why all these companies didn't want management and the workers fraternizing. It's a very real problem, because things don't get done, things happen, and next thing you know, it's a ripple effect throughout the whole business. You can have 3 good employees, but if you hire one bad guy, he will pollute the whole hiring pool, and you'll have to start all over again. But what ends up happening is these guys start thinking of the business like a truck driver would think of the business. I know what I liked on the road. I know what I wanted on the road. I'm going to do that for these guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, the guys you hire, if they don't have any skin in the game, they will take you for every dime. Happens over and over and over. I see it every year. So you need to be very careful about that. Approach it from a business. One of the other big problems that drivers who become owners have is they give the drivers too many options. You're almost, from the get-go, you're going to have to be almost a forced dispatch. I don't like the idea, but you're running a business. If you guys give these drivers the options of whether to go to work or not, or what to do or not, they're going to argue, they're going to fight, they're going to bicker, and they're not going to work. So you kind of have to, you can give them a few options here and there, but you're here to run a business. And you've hired these guys to help you run your business as employees. And I know this sounds cold, but these employees, it's completely impersonal. These guys are tools for you to make money. And if they help you make money, they get paid too. And hopefully good. But they don't get a say in what happens. And that's the biggest problem that truck drivers who turn business owners have. They let the employees start dictating what they will and won't do. And that ends up being a real problem. So if you get a deal on 4 or 5 trucks, yes, I agree. You need to put them to work as soon as you can. But don't be in a rush. You can expedite the process, but at the same time, you need to find the right driver to do what you need to do. So that's just something to be mindful of. One of the other things that you're going to run into is you've got to pay these guys. You have to have enough money up front to pay these guys each week for the work that you do. So how are you going to pay them? Now, I know guys will argue with me, and you can look this up, but you're going to want to pay them cash or a 1099. These are company employees. You are responsible for their taxes. Well, not if I pay them on a 1099, you say. Well, a couple years ago, and you can check this out, that's now illegal. I know a lot of guys are still doing it, and nobody's really enforcing it right now, but they will. But company employees are company employees. You're required to pay them accordingly. So that means you have to get an accountant, get things set up, pay them on a W-2, and take taxes out and withholding and all that. A lot of guys are going to have different. They're going to be like, no, just pay me $10.99, just pay me cash. As a business owner, you're going to find out it's more important for you to protect you rather than worry about how somebody else is going to get paid. And here's the thing. It was raining. If you establish a payday's every Friday. No, I want to get paid Monday. No, I want to get paid after every job. No. Payday needs to be Monday. This is why you go out and you hire employees. You don't hire friends. Like I said, you start giving people latitude who have no skin in the game, they're going to ruin your business, and they're going to make life very hard on you. One of the things that you have to do when hiring people and having employees is you have to keep these guys busy. They want to make money like everyone else. So don't grow so fast that you don't have the freight, because if you start running guys too thin, they'll just leave. Truck drivers are fickle, and it's going to take you probably 2 to 3 years to really get your business off the ground to the point where you need to, where you have guys that you trust to run your business. This is hard. I mean, as an owner-operator, it's hard enough. Now, times that by 3. So you need to keep them busy. And you need to make sure that, they're doing what you need them to do, because this cannot be their decision. Now, here's the thing. I'm sounding all doomy and gloomy. Like, I'm against people hiring their friends, and I'm against this and that. But this is an instance where you just really have to know your place. I mean, it sounds funny to say that, but if there's no other place in life to where you need to know your place, and you need to know your worth, and you need to know, it's having your own business and hiring employees. Now, here's the thing. If you go into business with somebody, that's almost as detrimental as hiring your friends. You guys need to have a clear-cut idea of what you want to accomplish. There needs to be paperwork. I'm not kidding. You each need to go to your own lawyers, draw up paperwork, develop clauses to where one can buy the other one out if need be, stuff like that. I mean, these kind of things destroy friendships. But the one thing that destroys your business, other than what I'm talking about, is just not having the right mindset to operate your business as a business. This isn't a hobby. This is how you're making your living. And I can't tell you how many guys have done exactly what I've said not to do, and a year later are just regretting everything that they're doing, for the mere fact of was they thought they were doing their friend a solid. They thought they were doing their friend a favor. And it came back to it didn't bite them, it destroyed them. Now, when you go searching for employees, the last thing you want is that employee that's going to be like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to drive a hood. I'm only going to drive a truck with a cat. I'm only. Dude's got a lot of I'm onlys for someone who's begging for a job. If he's sitting there begging for a job and he's giving you demands, you kick him to the curb. You're buying trucks that you can afford to run your business. You don't need to be spending $200,000 on a hood just to get an employee. That's stupid. if you're building your business and you got a guy that'll drive, put him in a $40,000 Freightliner, and if he turns out to be a good employee, work him up to the Pete, work him up to the Kenworth. As your business grows, your equipment will get better. But that's the thing, your business has to grow, and you need these employees who are going to work. So if you get one that says this, that, or the other thing, you just move on to the next one. That's why I was talking about my buddy who said if he would have just let the truck sit a little longer until he found the right drivers, he would have made money. It is what it is. He was trying to force the issue. Having excess equipment necessarily isn't a bad thing. If you're going to have 4 or 5 employees, you're going to need an extra truck. Trust me on that. Because the one thing I can guarantee you is that guys are going to break things. If they don't have any skin in the game and they're sitting there just driving the truck, they're not going to check the oil. They're not going to check the tires. They might get put out of service and not even tell you, which brings up another story. One of the guys I talked to extensively about all this, he had this happen. He had 5 out of services and he never knew. These guys would just come in, they'd fix it real quick, they'd this, that, or the other thing. He said, I'm sitting here struggling, trying to get my business off the ground, and next thing you know, I got a letter from the DOT saying that my authority is about to get suspended because of X, Y, and Z. He said, I had no idea. You know, he's busy driving. His employees are busy driving. They don't think it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So if you're going to put people under your authority, you have a plan and you keep track of that, and you really, really watch everything you do, because like my buddy, this could have put him out of business and he would have never known why. So and I know what you're saying, well, he should have X, Y, and Z. When you got your own business and you're hiring employees, you got a lot going on, and sometimes it's just not that cut and dry. So something to be mindful of. So what am I getting at? Bluntly put, at the end of the day, your business is not your employee's business. How you run your business is not the employee's business. There needs to be that disconnect. They can't know your business, but you need to know everything they're doing. You have a lot to do. You know, you need to hire the right people. You need to hire staff. You're going to have to do e-logs. You're going to have to do a lot of things. Now, here's the thing. I know you're going to be like, well, I'll just buy pre-emission trucks. Yeah, you can do that. But I'm going to tell you this. By you doing that, you're going to increase your cost tenfold. And the problem with the pre-emission trucks is that while they're great for owner-operators, as company trucks, you're going to have guys doing all sorts of stupid things, taking all sorts of stupid chances, thinking that they're doing the right thing and that they're doing you a favor. You're running a business. You don't need employees doing your favors. Trust me. Those favors will put you out of business. So that's just something to be mindful of. So yeah, your business is not your employee's business. And this is why, like I said, you have to have that separation and that disconnect. They have to remain employees. And with them remaining employees, you have to remain the boss. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to be a dick. And there's sometimes you got to let the guys peek behind the veil to see what's actually going on. You know, if you really trust the guy to do a good job, so he does know that you really are not trying to screw them. Hey, I'm trying to build. This is the way I have to build. You know, and everybody's going to have ideas. And I've always said, you know, if you think you can do it better, go buy a truck and go do it better. The best compliment you can ever have, and I know guys will disagree with me on this, but the best compliment you can ever have is you train your own competition. Because if you train your own competition and he figures out a way to do it better than you did, that's not a bad thing. That's a guy who knew what he was doing. And you're kind of responsible for that. You know, I've seen it happen. And truthfully, if you train your own competition, that's going to force you to rise too. Not a bad thing either. So, hey. So in this video, I've given you a few things to think about. Truthfully, I want guys to buy trucks. I want guys to have employees. I want guys to make it. That's why I do these videos. I want you guys out there killing it. Me personally, I'm not interested in it. But if you're interested in it and you're interested in building a fleet and you're interested in building something that's going to bring you a lot of passive income. Now, mind you, this kind of stuff takes years. Years. And if you want to invest the time and you want to take the chance, I'll tell you right now to go for it. Don't expect results immediately, but at the same time, put something together, put it down on paper, get your authority, hire the right people, and do things right. That's the big secret. Doing things right, because I'll guarantee you, if you do things right and you fail, at least you knew where you went wrong. If you do things right and you succeed, nobody can say you shortcutted it and you screwed anybody. And long-term thinking is where the money really is. You can get a couple of windfalls up front, but that shit never lasts. Pardon my language. Do it right. And I guarantee you, at the end of the day, you're going to be glad you did. So, I tell you, like I say, be profitable, do what you can, and we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.